Joining us today is a man who took a leap of faith, a man who decided to risk it all and come to a foreign country known as what we call today international visitors in our terms. But this man here decided to come to this arena, to come and seek his healing. After suffering from illnesses, hardships of unemployment, health-wise, and everything that was not going well for him in his life, he took the call and decided to answer to it. Took a leap of faith and saw himself coming into a foreign country to this arena, the arena of mercy and solution, House of Fire, where he received his deliverance, he received his prophecies, healing and blessings. After being told that he will forever be on machines, never be amount to anything, he received it all in this church. As we welcome him, please clap our hands as I call Mr. Bello, who will be joining us for his live interview and recording right now. Please welcome him as welcome. Please just introduce yourself to the church, where you're from and your name.
Thank you very much. Arena of Mercy and Solutions.
Where our best and Jesus Christ is in the head.
My name is Bello, originally from Nigeria. I came to South Africa many years ago, and then I started coming to this church about 5 years ago.
So just refer back to a picture there, a picture of you lying there on the bed. Take us through what was happening there.
I was having something called sleep apnea. With sleep apnea, you when you sleep, you gasp, and then you have incessant breathing problems. Your breathing ceases. It ceases and comes back. So I was having that problem, and then that problem, eventually the complications led to high blood pressure. I was having high blood pressure, and that was before I came to this church.
When you came, while you were using this oxygen machine, you mentioned something that you graduated, went to universities, but you couldn't get employment anyway. Take us through. Were you applying? What was happening? Were you getting rejected? Would you go for interviews and they would not call you back? Just explain more in detail exactly when you say that you were never getting jobs.
It was a complex situation. Number one, being in a foreign country, definitely there will be a lot of things against you. But even apart from that, because even people who were foreigners came and they got jobs, and I was really struggling to get a job. But eventually, I got a job. But I was having one particular problem. Each time I got a job, the job will just last for like 6 months. I will lose the job due to one or two reasons, not necessarily my fault or something. But I will get a job. After 3 months, I will lose the job. So it was very unstable. The jobs were coming, but they were also going until I came to this church.
Explain the motivation between you coming into this church. What led you to take the decision? Did you hear it from somewhere else about this church? Just explain the motivation that led you into these doors.
The motivation came from my uncle, Pastor Joshua. The motivation came from him. He advised me to come to the church. And then I said, okay, no, it's fine, I'll visit. Actually, then I wasn't working. And I came from Victoria to the church, and that was the motivation I got to come to the church.
And tell us what happened when you got into this arena.
Yeah. When I came to the church, I was sick. I was unemployed. The first day that I came, the prophet called me, and then she told me, she said, look, when I look at you, I see an old man. And then I said, no, I'm not that old. He said, but in the spiritual and looked like an old person. So then she prayed for me. And then we left. And that was what happened at the first day. But when I got home, can I continue with that?
What state were you in? Were you still on that oxygen machine when you came in? Explain that to all the why would, as in like, was it the heaviness of the struggles you were going through? And what state were you in particularly on that day?
And I was very burdened. I was having a lot of struggles, a lot of problems. So when I came, imagine you are not feeling fine, you are not employed, and things like that. So when I came, I was very burdened.
Okay, and then what happened afterwards?
Afterwards, like I said, the prophet prayed, did deliverance from me, and then I went back home. When I got home, normally I would sleep using the machine every day. Each time I wanted to sleep, I would use the machine. So when I got home that day, when I wanted to sleep, I found that the machine was not working. The machine had stopped working. Then I was really worried. Because number one, I wasn't working. Number two, the machine was very expensive. Yeah, it was thousands of rands. So I was very worried. So I said, okay, no, tomorrow I'll take it back to the company and see if they can do something about it. So I had no choice than to sleep without the machine that day. But normally, if I didn't sleep with the machine then I would visit the toilet. I would pee like 4, 5 times, 6 times before the second day at night. Then I found that day I only went to the toilet like 2 times. And I was like, what's happening? But to me, it was just maybe I was just a bit. Yeah. Then the second day, then when I called those people, they said no. The machine will have to be purchased again. You will have to purchase a new machine and then you pay. Then I was very worried because I wasn't working, I didn't have the money. Then I went back and then I had to sleep that way. When I slept the second day, I found out that I only went to the toilet once.
Amen.
One time. Then I decided that, okay, there's nothing I can do for now. I just have to sleep with the machine. I mean, without the machine. And then third day, I slept. I didn't go to the toilet. I didn't visit the bathroom. Fourth day, then I called my uncle and then I said, I don't know what is happening. He said, I'm not sure. So I had to call, after like a week, I called the prophet. And then I explained to her what I experienced.
So all along, you do not think that this is your deliverance happening. Now you are able to survive without this machine, yet you still feel the need to go and fix this machine. You did not realize what was happening in that moment.
To be honest, my mind is a bit science-oriented. So I believe that before you can be healed, I was a Christian then, before this time, but you know, there are levels of Christianity. So I believe that you need to see a doctor. Doctor needs to prescribe something before you can get better. So just getting better that way was a bit strange to me. So I didn't want to accept that it was because of but all the evidence were pointing to that fact. So when I spoke to the prophet, and the prophet said, no, God has healed you. Then I wanted to be sure. So I went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, I did some tests, and the doctor was like, no, you are fine now. Then isn't it that I was having high blood pressure? Then the doctor said, your blood pressure has gone down. And then now, the way you are breathing, you won't need to use the machine again.
Let's clap to Jesus. Let's clap.
Thank you, Sister Tando and Brother Bello. As you have heard from them, Bello, who is originally from Nigeria, had various medical issues which made him use a machine. He had reproductive issues, and he was facing unemployment and was constantly depressed. Until he moved to South Africa and reside in Northam, he decided to visit House of Fire, Line of Judah Christ Ministries, where Prophet Julia Madela prayed for him, provided him with prophecies, and as we speak, Brother Bello is currently working in America. He and his wife have received and conceived a beautiful child. It shows that it is the arena of mercy and solutions.